Hey everyone, this is Raging Dump, and today I'm going to be showing you guys what Spec, Glyphs, Keybinds, and macros I use to play my Arms Warrior in PvP. Hope you guys enjoy. My Arms Spec is a 32-6-3. I'll only be going over some specific talent points, not all of them, and I'll be going over why I use them. Now as an Arms Warrior, I feel like it's essential to put 2 points into field dressing because of all the healing you receive from your Enrich Regeneration in your Victory Rush in Battlegrounds. It's too good to pass up. You could always spec into Blitz, but I don't really find Blitz as life-saving as field dressing. I just find field dressing to save me in way more situations than Blitz. And so move on to Improve Hamstring. Improve Hamstring is very nice because it lets you immobilize a target, lets you root a target every 30 seconds for 5 seconds. So that's always nice when you, but it's on the reapplication of your hamstring, so you have to hit them with hamstring one time and then you have to follow up with another hamstring to have this in full effect. Now in my arm spec, I don't use sweeping strikes because I don't find it that useful. When I'm Bladestorming, I'm usually using it as a quote-unquote hand of freedom to just get me out of a root or anything that's immobilizing me, and then I cancelaura charge at my target, and I don't find sweeping strikes to be that great because I usually bind it with my Bladestorm, and Bladestorm, it just isn't that useful for one point. You could always put it in there. Nothing bad about that, but it's just not that useful, especially in arenas, guys. Arenas, when you have sweeping strikes, you're going to be hitting another person, and that person might not even be near you. So you guys can spec into it if you want, but that's my opinion on it. Now I did spec into Sudden Death. This gives you a 6% chance of resetting the cooldown on your Colossal Smash. Now for Sudden Death, only proccing on a 6% chance, I find that it procs a lot. In the Battleground, I have it proc about 8-9 times, maybe more. It's one of the best talents in the arms tree, in my opinion, because you just get free Colossal Smashes constantly, taking down your opponent's armor and increasing your damage. Now we move out of the arms tree and go into the Fury tree. Okay, for Fury Tree, I have 3 in Blood Craze. Blood Craze procs a lot, and it heals you for a decent amount. And in these one-on-one battles or one-on-2 battles, you're going to be healing a decent amount with Blood Craze and Second Wind. So I suggest going into talents for Blood Craze because more healing is not going to hurt you, trust me. In Cruelty, it's extra damage, so you can't really go wrong there, huh? Now I did spec into Piercing Howl. It is very useful, very good for situations like Battlegrounds when you're the flag carrier or you're helping out the flag carrier. Being able to slow down a big group of people within a 15-yard plus radius with the Glyph is very nice. Now the Glyph does bring up the range by 50%, but still very good. You might want to get the Glyph, guys. It's just your choice. Now we move on to the protection tree. Now Insight, some people think that Insight is bad, like I thought it was bad when the nerf to Heroic Strike came, but I've looked into it, and if you see right here, when Heroic Strike procs a crit, it's not going to be a small crit. When you get crits, they're usually big. That's why they call them critical strikes, usually big hits. Now, when you have a 100% chance to know that you're going to hit somebody with a crit, you kind of want to take that knowledge and put it to full use. I have a Power Aura set up for Insight, so it tells me when I have Insight up, so I can save that Insight, and then for like a killing blow, like an Execute that might crit and a Heroic Strike that will crit, and at the same time, I can get a killing blow very easily with that. Insight is very useful, guys. spec into this if you want. There are plenty of other options, but this is what I use. Now my glyphs are as it stands. Bladestorm, Moral Strike, and Overpower for Prime. Victory Rush, Long Charge, Piercing Hell for Major, Battle, Command, Berserker Rage for Minor. I use Victory Rush for Major for one big reason. I battleground a lot, okay? Now in arenas, Victory Rush, the glyph is not that useful, because I decided to go with Victory Rush because I love the healing. It does 50% more healing to me, plus the field dressing, so that's a good amount of healing done from Victory Rush right there, and it keeps me alive in battlegrounds a lot, saving more than once. So if you do battlegrounds a lot, pick Victory Rush. If you're not going to, pick something else. That's all I have to say. Now this part of the video is how I keybind as a warrior. I have my important abilities, ones I use the most, as 1 through 6. And I have macros to go with those that I'll show later. But basically for my special keybinds that aren't on my 1 through 0 are Rend as R. I have mouse wheel up as heroic leap, which is very useful. Let's say you're running at someone and you're right here with you're right clicking and you're turning around, and you don't want to have to go off. Click a button and then have to click somewhere. You can just mouse wheel up and then click. It's very helpful, guys. I suggest this. Next one is Heroic Strike. I use Heroic Strike on C. Very easy to hit, but not hit too often, so it's not like I'm going to be spamming it by accident. So that's what I use, and I use Berserker Rage and Battle Shout as Z. I use Pummel as X. I use Overpower as Tab and Throwdown as F. I like F's for my interrupts, so if you guys don't like Throwdown as F, you guys can put Pummel there. I find it really useful because it's right there. It's right next to my D key, and I can just hit it and I get it. So my Disarm is Shift 1, Spell Reflect is Shift 2, Shield Wall is Shift 3, Heroic Throw is Shift 4. I'll be going over these macros after this part. And Victory Rush is F1, along with Enrage Regeneration, which is F2. I have my Trinket, which is my racial, because humans don't need trinkets until 4.1, I think. And I use my trinket basically on mouse wheel push down, so I just push it down and I trinket myself out of anything. And I use my Shattering Throw as Shift down on my mouse scroller. So I'll just get some rage right now and I'll show you guys. Shift down and I just throw it. It's really nice. And now my retaliation is still on my dash key because I don't want to accidentally hit it, but it's not too far for me because I have big hands. But it's just set up your keybinds as you want it, guys. I'll show you how to get to your keybinds right now if you don't know how to already. You want to hit Escape. You want to go to your Options menu, hit Keybinds. Go ahead and scroll down to your action bar functions. This is your first action bar right here. Change it to whatever you want. You can scroll down further, and then you can get to the multi-action bar bindings. Now you can, that's like bottom left and bottom right and all those action bars. So find out which ones you want to do, and you just click on your on your key. You click on it. And then you hit the button that you want to bind to it. So I'll give you an example. Like for key number 1 right here, I'll just hit unbind key, go right here and click on it and hit 1. Hit OK. Boom. 1. Now if you have bartender 4, way easier. Hit /BT4, hit keybinds, scroll over something, hit escape to unbind it, and hit the button you want over it to bind to it. So have that as 1, hit OK, and you're good. And simple as that, guys. Now I will be going over the macro part of this guide. You can get your macros by hitting /M or hitting escape and going over to macros. I have a lot of useful macros, and I'll link them. I will put them all in the description so you guys can all copy and paste them. Basically, to make a macro, you would come over to general, or it'll say your name, specific macros. General macros is ones that you can access throughout all your characters, and your specific ones are macros that only that character can use. So the general has a lot more you can put in. So once this one gets filled up, you guys can do that. But a lot of useful ones like spell reflect and shield wall lets you hit shield wall and spell reflect, and the click of a button. You just spam that button, and your shield wall will come up, or your spell reflect, and really helpful when you're like trying to kite away a mage, or when you're rooted and you can't do anything about that. You can just hit spell reflect and don't let them cast on you. Now, as I said, all these macros will be down in the description. All you need to do to make a macro is hit new, type in the name you want, or don't type in the name at all. If you want it to show up as the little icon, you just go over a question mark, you hit OK. Like, if I don't want any name, I just hit space and then hit OK. And then you want to type in what you want. So, or if you're pasting in, you just want to hit Control V and you paste. But yeah, and you just make a macro like show tooltip charge, and you want to cast charge. Easy as that. And you just drag it onto your bars, exit out of that, target something, and cast a macro. Easy as that, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope it was educational. Be sure to check out more videos on my channel. I upload live battleground commentaries and add-on videos, and many more. So be sure to check that out. Be sure to comment, rate, and subscribe if you enjoy my videos, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.